Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Okay, in this video, we are going to move to the last chapter for this course, which is chapter 9, System Operation and Support. Okay, as usual, before we start, I will recap software development life cycle, right? So you can see here, you are now at the last phase of SDLC, which is System Operation and Support. Right, you have done first phase system planning, system analysis, system design, and system implementation. Right. Okay, as shown in the previous slide, system operation and support is the final phase in the SDLC. Right. So during the system operation and support phase, you will be supporting a functioning information system, and you will be alert to any signs of system obsolescence, which would indicate that the system has reached the end of its useful life. Okay. Okay, these are the objectives of this chapter, right? We start with the user support activities, which we are going to discuss about the system support, including user training and help desk, right? The second objective is we are going to discuss about four main types of maintenance, which are corrective, adaptive, perfective, and preventive. Okay. Next, we are going to learn on how IT group managing system operation and support. For example, use maintenance team, okay, configuration management and maintenance release. And next, we learn on managing system performance, which is we examine the issues and maintenance tools. And the last one, we will learn about some of challenges and opportunities you are likely to face as an IT professional. Okay, basically, at this stage, the system is operational and the real test begins. All right. So the key question is whether or not the system meets user expectations and provides support for business objectives. Okay. And the system must be maintained and improved continuously to meet changing business demand, and user constantly require assistance. All right. So the system's operation and support phase begins when a system becomes operational and continues until the system reach the end of its useful life. Okay. Basically, after delivering the system, the analyst has two other important tasks, which is he or she must support users, okay, and provide necessary maintenance to keep the system operating properly. All right. Okay. Next is user support activities. Basically, companies provide user support in many forms, which including user training and help desk to provide technical support and assistance. So we start with user training first. Basically, at this stage, you should already familiar with initial user training that is performed when a new system is introduced, right? So, in addition, new employees must learn how to use the company's information system. Okay, if significant changes take place in the existing system or if a new version is released, the IT department might develop a user training package. Okay, training users about system changes is similar to initial training because the main objectives is to show users how the system can help them perform their job, right? Okay, so next is a help desk. Help desk is a centralized resource staffed by IT professionals who provide users with the support they need to do their jobs, right? Um, a help desk often called information center because it is the first place users turn when they need information or assistance. All right. Help desk will enhance productivity and improve utilization of a company's information resources. Okay. So help desk also might have to perform the following tasks. which are show a user how to create a data query or report that displays a specific business information, or resolve network access or password problems. Okay, demonstrate an advanced feature of the system or a commercial package, and help a user recover damaged data. Alright. Okay, additional info about the help desk is to function as a valuable link between staff and users. Okay, the help desk is central contact point for all IT maintenance activities. Okay, so the interactive support also can be delivered in the form of an online chat or in a form of a virtual classroom. Okay. Okay, next is maintenance activities. Basically, the system operations and support phase is an important component of TCO, total cost of ownership, because ongoing maintenance expenses can determine the economic life of a system. Alright, so operational costs will include items such as supplies, equipment rental, and software leases. Okay, example of supplies is consumable items such as toner printer. Okay, so example of equipment rental is PC, laptop, printer, and also cloud service. Alright, an example of software lease is Microsoft Office 365 or any software as a services offered by application service provider. Okay, now is maintenance expenses, which is very significantly during the system's operational life and includes spending to support maintenance activities. Okay. Okay, what is maintenance activity? Maintenance activities will include the first one, changing programs, okay, procedures or documentation to ensure correct system performance. The second one is adapting the system to change requirement. And the last one is making the system operate more efficiently. Alright. Okay, there are 4 types of maintenance tasks can be identified, which are corrective maintenance, adaptive maintenance, perfective maintenance, and preventive maintenance. This figure shows a typical pattern of operational and maintenance expenses during the useful life of system. Right? So the total cost of operating an information system includes operational and maintenance costs. Okay? So operational costs, this one, are relatively constant, while maintenance costs, this one, uh, vary over time, right? You can see in the diagram. So as I mentioned in a previous slide, operational costs include items such as supplies, equipment rental, and software lease. So if you notice, the lower part in this figure represent fixed operational expenses. Okay, this one, fixed operational expenses, while the upper area represent maintenance expenses. Okay, the purple color. So maintenance expenses is a very significantly during the system operational life and including spending to support maintenance activity. Okay, I also provided additional resources in YouTube. Okay, also in my Padlet, so you can watch those video for better understanding. All right. Okay, now we start with the corrective maintenance. Corrective maintenance diagnoses and corrects error in an operational system. Okay, you can respond to the errors in various ways depending on nature and severity of the problem. And for more serious situations, a user submits a systems request with supporting evidence. Okay. Okay, now is adaptive maintenance. Adaptive maintenance adds enhancement to an operational system and makes the systems easier to use, which is an enhancement, for example, like new feature or capability. Okay, so the procedure for minor adaptive maintenance is similar to routine corrective maintenance. Okay. So, okay, but a major adaptive maintenance project is like a small-scale SDLC project, okay, because the development procedure is similar and it can be more difficult than the new system development because the enhancements must work within constraint of an existing system, right? So next is perfective maintenance. It is involve changing an operational system to make it more efficient, reliable, or maintainable. Right. So this perfective maintenance can improve system reliability. It is cost effective during the middle of the system's operational life. And there are two techniques you can use in perfective maintenance, which are reverse engineering and re-engineering. Alright, next is preventative maintenance. It is reverse engineering, which includes changes to an operational system that reduce the possibility of future problems. Okay, so preventative maintenance requires analysis of areas where trouble is likely to occur, and preventive maintenance competes for IT resources along with other projects, and sometimes does not receive the high priority that it deserves, right? Okay, this figure shows a typical patterns for each of the four classifications of maintenance activities over a system's lifespan. Okay, so maintenance expenses usually are high when a system is implemented because problems must be detected, investigated, and resolved by corrective maintenance. All right. So once the system becomes stable, costs usually remain low and involve minor adaptive maintenance. All right. And eventually, both adaptive and perfective maintenance activities increase in a dynamic business environment. Okay, near the end of a system's useful life, adaptive and corrective maintenance expenses increase rapidly, but perfective maintenance typically decrease when it becomes clear the company uh, plans to replace the system. All right, that's all about the table. Okay, next topic is managing systems operation and support. Right, this during this phase, companies use various strategies. Okay, which can include a maintenance team, a process for managing maintenance requests and priorities, a configuration management process, and a maintenance release procedure. Right. So in addition, firms can use version control and baselines to track system release and analyze the system's life cycle. Okay. Okay, a maintenance team includes a system administrator and one or more system analysts and programmers, right? So basically, the system administrator is responsible for routine maintenance, and it's usually is authorized to take preventive actions to avoid an immediate emergency, such as server crash, okay, network outrage, or security incident, or hardware failure, right? So system analyst basically is responsible to investigate and rapidly locate the source of a problem by using analysis skill. Okay. Okay, for some organizations, they separate maintenance and new system groups, rotate people from one area to another. Okay, so one disadvantage of rotation is that it increases overhead cost. Okay, so in small organization, for example, a programmer which is responsible to handle a wide variety of tasks. But in larger firms, programming work tends to be more specialized. Okay, so many IT departments also use a job title of programmer or analyst to designate a position that requires a combination of system analyst and also the programming skill. And the training value of maintenance work outweigh uh, the other factors. Okay. Okay, next is managing maintenance request, which involve a series of steps, which is the step one is maintenance request, initial determination, final disposition of the request, assignment of maintenance tasks, and user notification. Okay, now is managing maintenance request. Okay, this figure show typical process of managing maintenance request. Right, after a user submit a request to a system admin, right? A system admin determines whether immediate action is needed and whether the request is under a prescribed cost limit. Okay, user normally submit most requests for corrective and adaptive maintenance when the system is not performing properly or if they want new features. Okay, so IT staff member usually initiate requests for protective and preventive maintenance, right? So to keep a complete maintenance log, uh, all work must be covered by a specific request that users submit in writing or by email. All right, that's the typical process. Okay, in many companies, the systems review committee separates maintenance and a new development request when setting priorities. Okay, some IT managers believe that evaluating all projects together leads to the best possible decisions because maintenance and new development require similar IT department resources. Okay, so neither approach guarantees an ideal allocation between maintenance and new systems development. All right. Okay, next is configuration management. Configuration management is a process for controlling changes in system requirements during software development. Okay, it is an important tool for managing system changes and cost after a system becomes operational. So basically, most companies establish a specific process that describes how system changes must be requested and documented, right? As enterprise-wide information systems grow more complex, configuration management becomes critical. Right? Most maintenance projects require documentation changes because keeping track of all documentation and ensuring that updates are distributed properly are important aspect of configuration management. Right? Okay, basically to keep track of maintenance changes and updates can be difficult, especially for a complex system. All right, maintenance release technology is used to keep track of maintenance changes. Right, each change is documented and installed as a new version of a system, which is called maintenance release. Right, and a numbering pattern distinguish the different release. And it also used to reduce the documentation burden because all changes are coordinated and become effectively simultaneously. Okay, so disadvantages of maintenance release is users expect rapid response to their problems and requests, but with a release methodology, new features, this one, or upgrades are available less often. Okay, even when changes would improve system efficiency or user productivity, the potential savings must wait until the next release, uh, which might increase operational costs. Right? So service pack is a maintenance release of commercial software suppliers. For example, Microsoft Service Pack provides access to uploaded drivers, tools, security patch, and customer requested product changes. Okay. Okay, version control is a process of tracking system release or version. When a new version of a system is installed, the prior release is archived or stored. Okay, if a new version causes a system to fail, a company can reinstall the prior version to restore operation. Right. So many firms use commercial application to handle version control for complex system. Okay, there are also numerous free and open source alternatives. For example, Git is a popular free version control system, and it is available across most major platforms and is supported by the developer community. Okay. Okay, a baseline is a formal reference point that measures a system characteristic at a specific time, right? Basically, system analysts use baseline as a yardsticks to document features and performance during the system's development process. Okay, there are three types of baseline, which are functional base, allocated baseline, and product baseline. So functional base is the configuration of the system documented at the beginning of the project. Right? It consists of all the necessary system requirements and design constraints. Okay. So allocated baseline is a documents the system at the end of the design phase and identifies any changes since the functional baseline. Okay, the allocated baseline includes testing and verification of all system requirements and features. Okay, last is the product baseline, is the system at the beginning of system operation. Okay, the product baseline incorporates any changes made since the allocated baseline and includes the results of performance and acceptance tests for the operational system. Okay. All right. Next topic is managing system performance. A system performance directly affects users who rely on it to perform their job functions, right? Okay, to ensure satisfactory support for business operations, the IT department must manage system faults and interruptions, measure system performance and workload, and anticipate future needs. All right. So, to measure system performance, many firms use benchmark testing, which use a set of standard tests to evaluate system performance and capacity. Right? Okay, another performance measurements called metrics can monitor the number of transaction processed in a given time period, the number of records accessed, and the volume of online data. Okay, network performance metrics will include response time, bandwidth, throughput, and turnaround time, among others. Right? Okay, we start with the response time. Okay, response time is the overall time between a request for system activity and the delivery of the response, right? Um, Normally, online users expect an immediate response, right? And they are frustrated by any apparent lag or delay. So, of all performance measurements, response time is the one that users notice and complain about most. Okay. Next is a bandwidth. Bandwidth describes the amount of data that the system can transfer in a sorry. Bandwidth describes the amount of data that the system can transfer in a fixed time period. Okay, so bandwidth requirements are expressed in bits per second, right? Depending on the systems, you might measure bandwidth in kilobit per second, megabit per second, or gigabit per second. Okay, next is the throughput. Throughput is measures actually system performance under specific circumstances, and it's basically affected by network loads and hardware efficiency. Okay. Okay, turnaround time applies to centralized batch processing operations such as customer billing or credit card statement processing. Okay, it's measure the time between submitting a request for information and the fulfillment of the request. right? So turnaround time also can be used to measure the quality of IT support or services by measuring the time from a user request for help to the resolution of the problem. Okay. Uh, Basically, the IT department often measures response time, bandwidth, throughput, and turnaround time to evaluate uh, system performance both before and after changes to the system or business information requirements. Okay, and management use current performance and workload data as input for the capacity planning process. Right? Okay, capacity planning is a process that monitors current activity and performance levels, anticipates future activity, and forecasts the resources needed to provide desired levels of services. Okay, what if analysis is used to develop a current model based on the system's present workload and performance specifications, right? Basically, what if analysis allows you to vary one or more elements in a model in order to measure the effects on the other elements, right? For example, you might use what if analysis to answer questions such as how will response time be affected if we add more PC workstations to the network? Okay, will our client or server system be able to handle the growth in sales from the new website, right? Next question is what will be the effect on server throughput if we add more memory? Okay, so you need detailed information about the number of transaction, which is the daily, weekly, or monthly transaction pattern, the number of queries, and the number, type, and size of all generated reports, right? So most important, you need an accurate forecast of future business activities. Okay, and if new business functions or requirements are predicted, you should develop contingency plans based on input from users and management. Okay. Okay, next is system maintenance tools. All right, many case tools include system evaluation and maintenance feature. Okay, in addition to case tools, you also can use spreadsheet and presentation software to calculate trends, perform what-if analysis, and create attractive charts and graphs to display the results. Okay. Okay, our last topic is strategic planning for IT professional. Okay, an IT professional should think of himself or herself as a business corporation that has certain assets, okay, potential liabilities, and specific goals, right? So, working backwards from your long-term goals, you can develop intermediate milestones and begin to manage your career, just as you would manage an IT project, right? So, planning a career is not unlike planting a tree that takes several years to reach a certain height, right? So, an IT professional should have a strategic career plan, which can include long-term goals and intermediate milestone, right? So, an important element of a personal strategic plan is the acquisition of IT credential and certifications. Okay, so many IT industry leaders offer certifications, right? So in addition to technical ability, other skills such as critical thinking skills um, also are extremely valuable, right? Okay, for example, Microsoft certifications, right? Uh, you learn about analyzing requirements and defining solution architectures, and you have to sit an exam with 7 to 100 questions, right? Individuals who pass this exam achieve Microsoft certified professional status and earn credit towards the Microsoft certified solution developer certification. Okay, I think with that example, I end this video, meaning that we are close our last chapter for this course. Okay, Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.